Witam Państwa bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku podcastu Energia Sztuki, którego sponsorem jest Enea Operator. Naszym dzisiejszym gościem jest Weckx, galerzysta z Belgii, założyciel i właściciel Mat Gallery. Dzisiejszy wywiad odbędzie się w języku angielskim. So, my guest today is Weckx, gallerist from Belgium, the founder and the owner, the chief of the Mat Gallery. Hello, Danny.
Hello. Hi.
Nice to have you again in Poznań. You are traveling a lot, and I'm very happy that we crossed our roads, worldwide business. Or?
Yeah, well, I think so, yeah. I'm very happy. Thanks for inviting me here, because my Polish, unfortunately, is not that good yet. I understand a little bit, but...
I hope that the next
session
interview
we can do
will be in Polish.
Yeah. I hope
Promise?
so too. Yeah, well...
Okay, we will try.
Yeah. No, business, I think I'm very happy to be in Poland. I know Poznań very, very well from business point of view because I was doing some business for many years already here and becoming step-by-step an art collector and then a gallerist in Belgium.
Yeah, so let's start from the very beginning, because when I first met you here in Poznań, I was, impressed that you took the risk, to open one of your branches in Poznań, in the city, which is, not really central in the world of arts.
Exactly.
But you did it. So please tell more about how it's come to happen that you are here with your gallery.
Yeah, well, I think that anyway, I know that it's not most funky, maybe like New York, Shanghai, London, Paris, to be in Poznań, but my gallery in Belgium is also not in Brussels. It's also in Genk, which is close to the German border. And I think that we need also gallerists that invest also in areas where not everybody is going. And I think it makes also a difference, or we can make a difference in a unique way, because there is maybe not so much, let's say, competition if you look at it from a business point of view. But on the other hand, I think also that there are a lot of places in the world where good artists should be invited to, and I think that was the main reason also for us to choose for Poznań. Of course, the reason Poznań had to do also with the business aspect of my past, of course. So for me, it was easier because I know Poznań very well, and I always loved Poznań as a city. I think also on the art perspective, there is a lot going on, especially also if you look at the UAP now, where we are. There is so many young artists are doing well here. And it's very difficult for artists in general to come out of that gray zone. So for me, it's also interesting in having a look at these areas, not very typical for art.
Okay. I will ask you, of course, in a minute about your experiences of being a gallerist also in Poznań. But tell me, please, a bit more about your own personal choices from the past which led you to arts. So how it happened that being active in the other sphere of business, you decided to deal with arts?
I think it business-wise was always in a creative environment. I was in the marketing, doing marketing activities. Creative, was a musician also in the past. So, I think that for me, it happened a little bit by coincidence, because if you're in business and you have your own company, you're focused on that business part, right? So to develop your business, to grow your business, and for me, my business was also always an international. I looked at it as an international company, although we're not multinational, so we're like a small company, but always looked outside the borders of the country. So during my trips to South Africa, especially there, I saw the beauty of art in the contemporary art scene there, because in Belgium we didn't have so much public art, and there I saw everywhere art outside. Was maybe not always the top quality, but it was very accessible, and for me it changed a little bit my view on how we perceive art, on how we put art in spaces. And that was for me the starting point of collecting also. And I wanted to have that also in my own spaces. And of course, I visited a lot of musea everywhere in the world. But to really start collecting art, because you also need a little bit of money to buy pieces of art. In the beginning of your career, you don't have much money, so it doesn't mean that you cannot buy art. But it was not on my radar so much in investing in art. But due to that fact, this is how it started actually, and this is also why the name of the gallery is very difficult to pronounce in English, but it's uitstalling. It's the South African word of exhibition or exposition. And there it started. And due to the fact that I had contact with a lot of South African artists that were underrepresented in European environment. Of course, they were in London. Of course, they were in Paris, but not on the mainland, let's say, of Europe. And this is why I said, okay, this is a kind of a niche that I can jump in, and that's how it basically started at the time.
When was it exactly?
That was, the fact that I started collecting arts already for, let's say, 15 years, but the really taking the step of starting the galleries was in just before COVID in 2019, so we're still quite young as a gallery.
But now after starting the bunch in Poznań, you are in 3 locations, right?
Yeah, we are in Belgium. We have, let's say, 3 gallery spaces. We have the Cube Gallery, we have Uitstalling Art Gallery, and we have the Villa, and in Poznań, the 4th location. And then we opened last year a residency space in the same street in Belgium, and it's called Le Charbonnage, to put it in French. It's like a gallery space where we invite their artists, also Polish artists, who are already there.
So your entertainment is growing.
It's growing, yeah. It's a lot of work also, I have to say. And it's not so easy in locations like this. But I think I always say it's like a good restaurant. If you have a good restaurant, people will go there, will drive there. So you need to follow a good strategy. Bring good artists, bring a good mix of established artists and young artists, and try also to do something that maybe not everybody is doing.
Yeah, your comparison with the restaurant is very interesting, because I remember my first experience with Mat Gallery in Poznań. I was walking down the street, Bieczyński street, and then I realized, wow, there is something like White Cube there. Oh, there are pictures there. I don't know that space. So I entered, and I started to look this and that, and then many different interesting names, including Pablo Picasso. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, well, what's that? It's appeared like so accidentally, so like unexpectedly, and then wow, and now after more than 1 year?
Yeah, I think now almost 1.5.
How do you see it? What was the experience of this year?
Well, I think you cannot really judge from 1 or 2 years. I think that this is not just like a short thing, and then you need to evaluate. Of course, Poznań is not, let's say, the same as Warsaw, unfortunately, on the level of collectors. But I think that I'm very happy about the let's say the results of and the reactions of the people passing by. And what is also very interesting for me is to bring artists from Poland to Belgium, bring Belgian artists to here, bring South African artists here. So to have a little bit more that international look. I have to say that my experience in Poznań in general is that the galleries active here are also a lot focusing on local artists, which is very good, and we have to have that definitely. But also on Polish art, also older, maybe established more Polish artists, which is definitely perfect. But to doing the same and to come here and do the same as what everybody's doing, then for me it's. I think there is not that. Then it's more difficult also to bring these established artists, like for example Zanele Moholi, who we had here, who opened this week in Tate in London, a big show, come from San Francisco in MoMA, and we had Moholi show a solo of Moholi in our gallery, for example. So. In order to have these artists agreeing doing a show in Poznań, where the hell is Poznań? In that kind of established artist top of mind, it's not so easy. But it opens also a lot of perspectives, because I think you need to start somewhere. Because I think the worst thing that can happen is that every gallery starting here and after 1-2 years. And I'm also very open. It's not like the gallery is visited by a lot of art collectors who spend a lot of money, because we are a commercial gallery. It's not like we are an institutional gallery. So in order to get them here, or to increase the top of mind of Poznań as a cultural gallery city, you need to have galleries that sustain and sustainable keep on going here, instead of, okay, let's move to Warsaw because there is a more potential. I mean, that's the more maybe easy way, but that's also what I'm not doing in Belgium. I'm not in Brussels, although in Brussels there are a lot of galleries. I'm not in Antwerp. So I think it needs definitely a little bit more time.
Yes, I agree completely with that statement that we need the permanent infrastructure for art to let it grow. I know that we have some projects you made already with Poznań or Polish artists. Mm-hmm. Can you say more about them?
Yeah, it was actually also one of my goals to get a little bit of a connection to the local field of what is living and what are the artists active there. Because for me, it's especially also in Poznań, when I came here, I knew, of course, some artists, but not the who are the emerging, younger, coming artists. So in Belgium, I did a project which called Uitgestald 1. That was a book, was an editioned book of 101 editions, where we did an open call for artists to apply with a work, and it was a work on paper or. But it has to be a smaller work that we could put in that book. And in Belgium we had 180 applications, and then a jury of 3 independent curators, art historians. They made a decision of 17, 18 artists, and we put it in the book. And I said, let's do that also in Poznań. So in Poznań, we had I think over 150 applications, and then with a jury of 2 Polish, I think they were even almost professors on the UAP, because we wanted to work also closely with the UAP together, because I think it's always good to have institutional cooperation. We had also a very nice book that we brought, and we did an exhibition with that, and there I think was also 17 or 18 artists. And yeah, that was a very nice experience. We saw that a lot of people visited also the opening here, and a lot of people were connected. And then we brought that exhibition to Belgium, and we gave 3 of these artists also a small group exhibition in a specific space in Belgium. So for me, it was very good to get to know the market, and I see now that some of these artists are really, already moving into next steps. So that's the proof that we need more of that, and of course, there was not financed by anybody. It was just, invested by us. But for me, it was good to get to know artists, and then afterwards, see how they evolve, how they grow, and then one day we will maybe say let's do something together, right? More like a representative in a representative scenario.
Mm-hmm. But last year in the summer there was also an exhibition of Polish female artists in Belgium.
In Belgium, yes, that was a very interesting, good, I think, very strong exhibition, Fragility, with 3 Polish artists, with Kamila Kobersinska, I don't know if I pronounce all the names correctly, with Anna Miskowiak and Julia Korykowska. And I think it was one of the better exhibitions that we did with emerging young artists. We had also local press in Belgium coming to, even television came to...
And what was the reception?
Reception was actually very good. Of course, again, it's always difficult on the maybe on the sales side, because if you look at it very commercially again, it was not the most, let's say, commercial exhibition again, with also a little bit more difficult art. But I think it also put the gallery on a certain level, of course, and I think it's important to give also space to not easy, maybe sometimes commercial art, right? So that's the thing that you need to decide. You need to have a little bit of both, I think, as a gallery, because you need to survive on one hand, but you also need to bring in that level of, and also to take your collectors on a journey of showing things that they will never see, or if
of
they
course.
don't come to
and
Poznań.
Risking is also a part of this.
And risking is definitely a part of it. Yeah, no risk, no fun, they say. But okay.
The one who is not risking is not drinking the champagne.
Yeah, I think you need to see it always a little bit on the longer term. I think I always had, in business perspective, I always said you need to look on the longer term. Fast money, or fast success can also. It's same with artists. I see artists booming and then they are gone 2-3 years later. So I believe in a consistent growth of an artist and a consistent growth of a gallery space. Also in a consistent growth of a business. If you want to compare it with business, I think that's much better than just 2 years of fantastic success and then gone.
Okay, but before I will ask you about those long-term plans, let's go a bit beyond our Poznań local perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to ask you, as a person who has experience in the art market, not only in one country, let's say you are observing also the streams and the tendencies nowadays. Can you share with our public your feelings about the possible future of the art market development? Because many voices are critical about that, what is going on now. Of course, your concept is not really fully in line with the biggest game changers, let's say the galleries, Gagosian, etc., etc. So already it's bringing some differences. But do you have kind of a general thoughts, ideas, in which direction this all is moving and how it will change in the future? Because of course nowadays also internet trading with art is growing. It's
of course, yeah,
very important as well. So what's your idea?
Yeah, I think that the online part is definitely you cannot forget about that. I think you need a good mixture of gallery space, maybe. And maybe in the future this can also move. But I think the experience of experiencing art in a space, in a white cube, really in standing in front of an artwork and, get emotionally catched by the work. Some people start crying in front of a work. That I think you will not so easily generate over an Instagram post.
That cannot be replaced. Yeah.
So I think that I think is still the most important aspect. How I see it is still the most important emotional connection with the piece itself. So I think that, but again, we cannot, be blind for what is happening in the market. So I have also used Instagram a lot. So we have also a lot of followers. But to be honest, I think I don't see many. I see a lot of followers and I see a lot of people liking and so on, but I don't see so much sales coming out of that part, I think most of it comes because people know the artist, people have seen the artist somewhere, and then of course once you know the artist, or you might get triggered. So I definitely think that the first connection can also be over an Instagram post, but then you want to know more, or you want to see a real piece of that artist. Because sometimes it's much better if you look at it real, and sometimes it's also not so nice as the picture, which should not be the case with good art, I think. But in general, I think the market is moving, and I know that a couple of years ago the NFT was hot. I don't hear much about NFTs anymore, and I see a lot of people, trying to connect and say, "Oh, you want to sell your art? We'll do it over an NFT." Damien Hirst did a fantastic experiment with the currency, and we had that. I joined that. I joined that experiment, but you don't hear much anymore about NFTs. But it's not that it's gone. So I think that for a young artist, definitely Instagram will help in selling at the beginning of the career. I think that at a certain moment, if you really want to become, an established artist, you need, to my opinion, someone to help you. You need a kind of gallery. I had a conversation over the weekend with Weckx. He's a Taiwanese artist that we work with. And he said to me, in the beginning, I thought I can do it myself. Why? I need to give a kind of a commission to a gallery. He said, until I started to sell. And then I had to pack, I had to organize that, I had to do the insurance, and then people call me, the packaging was a little bit broken here, and then it was, so people have no clue, you have no clue what clients sometimes ask. And as an artist, I think you need to create. And as long as you do it as an amateur or you do it in the beginning of your career, it's all fine. But I think that, and to come back to your question, how the market will evolve, I think it will always be a mixture of physical spaces, Instagram or internet, online business, art fairs, still, to my opinion, very important, because my experience with art fairs, there are the art collectors, and there they come. To move them to Poznań, to come to see one show, or to move them to Basel next week, I think there you see to go to Venice and look at it. And this is why it's important that in Poznań more galleries are coming, more art spaces are developing. So if we bring in collectors from Belgium, what we're going to do in September, for example, that we can show them around. And I think it will be a mixture of different ingredients. But I don't think that only the online business or online selling will survive for long term.
I hope so. Yeah. However, we are slowly going to the end, so maybe last remarks and a question about your plans relating to Mad Gallery in Poznań, what the public will be able to see in upcoming time, and what is the most recent activity also in Poznań Art Week this year?
Well, I think maybe to start with Poznań Art Week, and I think it's congratulations with the
Thank you.
All the things that you do here, and
I'm happy to have you on board.
Yeah, and also to at least have that kind of format also, for people to come over, and it's good that it's not just one day, because in some cities it's just an art night or something, which is then a little bit difficult. But what we do here now in Poznań Art Week is we promote a little bit the residency space. We have a show on with 8 artists that we invited last year in Le Charbonnage in our residency space, and we show works that are made in our residency space. There are 2 Polish artists also that we had in Belgium already. One is the most known maybe is Szabel Pocenik from Warsaw. He will be here also tomorrow and the day after, and we have a meet and greet, and people can come over, and we have guided tours. So that is what we do during Poznań Art Week. For the future, I think for me the major goal is to keep on bringing established and well-known artists to Poznań internationally, and it will be the triangle will be Polish artist, Belgian artist, and African artist. That are the 3 key. And of course, sometimes there can be. I don't limit myself. And it will be always a mixture of let's say, photography, but definitely painting, sculptural work, maybe sometimes video, I don't know yet, but that is a little even more difficult. But I don't want to be pushed into some kind of corner, like, that's the galleries doing only minimalistic art or something like that. I think an art lover always loves different types of art.
Yes, we love to be surprised.
Exactly.
So finger crossed for that.
Thank you.
I recommend to our public, of course, to follow social media and the webpage of Mad Gallery in Poznań. My guest was Danny Weckx. Thank you very much for a nice talk.
Thank you, Mateusz.